It's going to be vetting. Last time we saw vetting happen, people were carrying tables and chairs and say, Tutu Michael, Tutu to my Tutu. Charlie. People's fathers will say, Tutu, Mubu no Bubu no. Peja Maso Swatable no. Don't be silly. This is not what I brought you here to. Come on, dude. Destroy the problem. They have come to tell us that, we are sorry about it. A table now must say the table that you have destroyed and the chairs and the nearly said canopies. A microphone. Well, how do we replace that? Somebody must come and answer. But we want to give you a reminder, right? Before we get into, because today is the day when deputy ministers designate will be vetted. Crosby, we have not seen the other paper yet to know who is appearing. But we do know that we have deputy ministers. Thomas Ampemnyako is heading to the Ministry of Finance. Ebenezer Okleti Telabi is the Ministry of Interior Deputy Minister designate. Ernest Broja Jemfi is Ministry of Defense Deputy Minister designate. Clement Abasinab Apak, PhD. It doesn't come easy. It's going to the Education Ministry. That's expected. Richard Jan Mensah is heading to the Ministry of Energy and Green Transition. Al Hassan Shaibu Sohini Al-Haji is heading to the Ministry of Roads and Highways. Justice Remsai, PhD, is also heading to the Ministry of Justice and Attorney General. Yusuf Suleimana. So what Justice Remsai, his students at Lagos, what would they do? They'll find a new teacher. Yusuf Suleimana, Ministry of Lands and Natural Resources, Deputy Minister designate. And then in comes the ladies. Because who would we have?
So, Retano Dole Sowa, she is heading to the Ministry of Local Government, Chieftaincy and Religious Affairs, going to be the deputy of the former whip of the NDC.
Right.
There's also Gazela Tete Agbotui, Ministry for Works. Tete Agbotui. She is heading to the Ministry of Works, Housing and Water Resources. And then Yusuf Isaka Jaja. He is going to the Ministry of Tourism, Culture and Creative Arts. She's going to take the chair of
Marco Krekumante, Mr. Mentor.
But you see, Jaja was a minister in Mahama 1. Did he get any position?
No, I don't think he got. He's an MP.
Yes.
He's been an MP.
Or just
around the Nima area,
The new face, John Kofi Seto Dumelo, he is going to the Ministry of Food and Agriculture.
The Ministry of who?
Food
and Agriculture. But you know that people, some of the people say agriculture.
They say what?
Agriculture.
Can I just say agri and have your peace?
Don't stress yourself, please.
Life is simple.
Yeah.
Ministry of Food and Agriculture. Samson Ahi, the Trade Ministry, Agribusiness and Industry. He is going to deputize for Elizabeth Ofosu Ajare. Yes. So
Samson Ahi is the senior most among them in terms of appointments, right?
Yes.
So he's the senior deputy minister.
He's actually qualified to be substantive minister.
Yes, he does.
But I don't.
He was deputy in Mahama 1. Works and Housing under Collins Dauda.
Yeah, under Collins Dauda. That's where they was. I remember hosting him on Hot Issues, and then I asked him when they said they were going to take him to court for the Saglemi thing. Then I asked him, "Are you clean?" He said, "Very clean." Very clean. Yeah, he's very clean. Shouldn't he say it? Now,
Samson Ahi of Bodi.
He's very proud of his constituency.
Yes.
Very proud of his constituency, and he always. But have you been to Bodi before?
Oh no.
The roads.
No, I have no idea where that is.
Bodi Seshi.
Yes,
the
roads, and the roads have clay.
Clay.
Yeah, the roads.
I can imagine when it
rains, Charlie. Like the town will show you love that you have not asked for. They will show you love.
Walking, you are sleeping.
Wow. Yeah, Bodi. But it's a very nice place, though. So these are the deputy ministers designate. Let's go back to when they were the vetting committee members couldn't agree. They couldn't see eye to eye. And they thought that violence was the only way out. Listen to them.
So there, he's seated right now. We're going to put the cameras on Samuel Okudzeto Ablakwa right now. There you have him with the Kwabena Mintah Kando ready to take the oath for him to be vetted, but the minority members on the So the disagreement continues and the misunderstanding, confusion, we're saying right now continues, and the information we're getting is that there was near fisticuff at the appointments committee as a result of this misunderstanding we're seeing right now. And George Quenning, my colleague, is there for us. We're going to cross over to George Quenning right now. George, talk to us. What's going on there? What's the resolution on the way forward on this matter? We've seen some of the microphones used by the appointments committee for the vetting. Some of them have been pushed off the table on the ground. The table arrangements have been disorganized by the minority because of their position that they would not want the vetting of Kwabena Mintah Kando, Samuel Okudzeto Ablakwa to take place tonight.
The best in
the majority leader, Mama Yariga, is getting into a, in fact, we understand there's a conversation right now between the majority leader and the minority leader who has just turned to his caucus and members to calm down. It's in Frank Anod on prayer as well now, trying to arrange the tables. There's some near fisticuff between Hassan Tampoli and Nelson Roxon Dafiamepo. Hassan Tampoli is held on to Nelson Roxon Dafiamepo's smoke. Let's go back there right now.
So there you have it, your parliamentarians. On that day, they sounded like this.
Here it comes!
Sounded like we were having a brawl in Bukom boxing arena, but that was the situation then, at the time, and they came with and apologized and all of that. But I mean, gentlemen, you saw very respectable individuals in there, lawyers and then no. So bring back the baller so we get to see the rubbish. It didn't end there. After they fought and destroyed some of the property, they left behind coffee cups, takeaway packs, sauces and tissue papers, bottled water, empty bottled water, empty water bottles, and some documents and Charlie.
Ghana Sweets.
If you're watching us on Facebook on 3FM 927, which I encourage you to do, you'll see the sport microphone procured with state funds. Have we brought conclusion to that matter?
The speaker says they will be surcharged.
When
They finish the investigations.
Wasn't not referred to the police for investigation.
Yes. But the speaker also
And the speaker set up a committee that was
a bipartisan
put upon
committee,
by members of the minority. So until now, the speaker hasn't even made any pronouncements on that.
It's not fair. It's not fair to the names.
The Bedra committee, we have no idea where it stands now.
Let's hear the Speaker of Parliament.
The following emergency measures are to be taken with dispatch. 1. The circumstances of the absence of a Privileges and Immunity Committee. In that circumstance, a 7-member special committee shall be constituted.
The best in the morning
Under
is on
Orders
92.7
and
Sunrise
20
on 3FM.
4. To conduct a full-scale investigation into the events of yesterday and this morning. The committee shall identify all members involved in the disorder and submit its report with findings and recommendations within 10 days from today. Any member found culpable shall face the appropriate disciplinary actions as prescribed by the Constitution 1992, the Parliament Act of 1965, and the Standing Orders of Parliament. This does not absolve the chairman of the Appointments Committee from performing his duty under Order 268, Rule 3. Pursuant of Section 10 of the Parliamentary Service Act 1993, Act 460, I direct the Clerk to Parliament to cause to be undertaken a full assessment of all damage caused within the committee room and parliamentary presence as a result of the misconduct of the members. Not a single pesewa of public funds shall be used to repair or replace any damaged property. Instead, members found responsible shall be surcharged for the full cost of repairs and replacement. In pursuance of the provisions of the Constitution 1992 and the Standing Orders of Parliament, I further direct the Clerk to Parliament to formally lodge a complaint with the Ghana Police Service to conduct a full criminal investigation into the matter for appropriate action. Consequently, the following members are suspended
The best in the morning is on
from the sittings of Parliament for
Sunrise
2
on
weeks
3FM.
from today. 1 and 2, the 2 chief whips, in the persons of Mr. Roxon Nelson Eche, Kwame Dafiemapo, and Mr. Frank Ano Dompre. 3, Mr. Alasan Suleimana Tampuli. And 4, Mr. Jerry Ahmed Shaib. As a matter of urgency, and to set up the Standing Orders Committee to reconsider a revision of the rules for the assessment of nominees for the consideration and approval by the House.
That was Speaker Bagbin there in the House, obviously not too enthused about how his members, or the members of Parliament, so to speak, conducted themselves. Eric Mawinek, my colleague, sat down with the chairman of the committee. Listen to excerpts of that conversation.
I interrupted our discussion and he said, well, they were having a discussion. And
who was having a discussion? Is it the leaders, the majority, and then the minority leader, along with the speakers? They were the ones having the discussion?
Those that I just mentioned, the minority leader, majority leader, the first deputy speaker, second deputy speaker, and then and then the clerk. They were having the discussion. So I said, well, the clerk came to unruly, interrupted us, and I think it wasn't right. I was really angry.
Yeah.
I mean, I show it. I will not lie at all. I show it to them. I said, well, I'm older than all of them here. I've been in this house. This is my 5th term. Apenyo, this is your 3rd term. The rest, the first deputy speaker, this is your 4th term. I've been here before you. Ayariga, this is your 6th term. I came to meet you in this house. You went and came back. So this is your 5th term. Where I'm more senior in age. I'm older than majority of them. I'm almost 60 years, and so they cannot treat me on a national set like that. And this
the
is
manner they did.
Yes, and so they cooled. I was asked to cool down. I was just walking away. Then they said, oh, they've not heard from the speaker. So I called speaker on phone. I said, you were not hearing from speaker. And I said, speaker, you are on loudspeaker. I have these people here. They've interrupted what I was doing, and they said, you said I should stop. And speaker, nobody has spoken to me.
Sunrise
and then
on
I said, you are on speaker. And I mentioned the names of the people who are there. And they say, yes, indeed, we are here. And then Honorable Minority Leader said, speaker, you know, when I came to you in the office, I was trying to explain to you that since we have decided to apologize, we should get it. The speaker said, we've not agreed on it. Then the Majority Leader said, well, when you were saying the thing, I left your office. So there was no agreement.
3FM,
then speaker said, well, we can go back to the Hansard to find out whether I said that the work of the committee to cease or they should not do the work again. Then Honorable Minority Leader said, well, then we should look at the Hansard. I said, well, speaker said there was no agreement with you. If the speaker has said it, then we'll look at the Hansard. Then the speaker went off. So we agreed that we're going to look at the Hansard. So I left it that way, that I'll meet my members today. Later in the evening, the speaker called me in the night from where he was.
Right.
And he said, well, he has spoken to the clerk. He has not instructed the clerk. He was clear in his mind that this committee should continue its work. So whatever I'm doing, I should go ahead and do it.
Right.
So I told the speaker, I'm not going to go by his word. I was interrupted rudely by the clerk. So he called the clerk for the clerk to tell me that I should go ahead with a letter. So he said, well, he'll do that. So quickly, the clerk called me and said, he has spoken to the speaker that we should continue with the work today. That was what transpired. I'll be meeting my members today, and then we'll look at the work.
What do you think happened? An attempt to stop you from being able to do your work? Because these individuals who were gathered and meeting when you went to meet them along with your members clearly, like you're telling us, had not received any instruction whatsoever from the Speaker. What in your own understanding was playing out when they decided to direct the clerk to have you stop the committee works?
Well, that would depend on them, because they have not given me the work. The Speaker who has given me work to to investigate. So if they have anything at all, they should direct their thoughts to the Speaker. So I'm not in their mind to know why they wanted us to stop. If they really have any reason why they wanted to stop, they could have even engaged me. They didn't engage me. They want to use the back door.
If I felt that was seeking to undermine you in some way, of course.
Not only undermining me, they were undermining the Speaker. What was I going to tell the Speaker when the Speaker requested for a report? Would I tell him that you have instructed, the Speaker has not instructed anybody? What was I going to tell the person? So my integrity was on the line. Not only my integrity, the integrity of this House. I mean, you saw clearly what happened. It's out there. Everybody has seen the videos. So what are we running away from? People went and members of Parliament, honorable members of Parliament, went under tables, breaking tables. Don't we have manners?
On 3FM.
Why are we called honorable members? If we don't have manners, we don't have integrity, then we should not be in this House. And I think it's time for us to sanctify this House and bring sanctity and order to this House. It's becoming too many, in recent times. Why? Are we not called? Are we not elected by the people? Can't we be responsible in our action and acts?
What would you say when people want to make the argument that conclave which had the clerk come to you to ask you to stop the work was an attempt to prevent all of this and this sanctification from proceeding? Because obviously you had the buy-in of the leader of your side as well.
No, at all. In fact, the leader of my side said, even when the Speaker was making it, he has not heard the Speaker saying that we should stop our work. So clearly, and also I said that the leader said when Honorable Abenyumaki was talking to the Speaker, he left the Speaker, so he doesn't even know. So he has not heard from the Speaker since then. So clearly, there was nothing, there was no, in fact, if there were some agreement, he would have called me, not the clerk. If there was an agreement, majority leader, would have called me, not the clerk. Are you getting my point? Yeah. So clearly, there was no agreement amongst them.
So this solely had to do with just the minority leader orchestrating this? Is that the feel you get? Because if the majority leader was not aware, under what authority is a question that will be asked. Did the clerk march to a committee and ask them to stop and after
this interview, you should talk to the clerk to find out under whose authority did he do that?
Best in the morning.
Because clearly, if a whole majority leader was subjected to our interrogation yesterday, majority leader was there.
Yes.
He was the first person we interviewed or we interrogated. If the leader of the House would subject himself, if he knew that there was a program like this or an agreement, he wouldn't have come. He would have just said, Emmanuel, stop. And let's find a way of telling the public. But he came and gave his testimony. So why would anybody, apart from the majority leader and the Speaker, why would anybody, leader of government business, who subject himself, who are you then to say that you will not come? Or to use whatever means to stop us from doing what?
The clerk has not sought to explain to you why he did what he did yesterday?
No, he hasn't explained. He hasn't explained.
Would you want an explanation in any way or form as to what informed his choice of asking to even withdraw?
I've left that to his judgment. I've left that to the judgment of Ghanaians. I believe in him as a clerk. He was doing it maybe with a good intention, as I know him, but this one, I will not take it. I'm not a man that backs out. What is right should be right, and what is wrong, we should all say it is wrong. I mean, where we have gotten to as a parliament, the whole world is looking up to us. The whole of Africa is looking up to Ghanaian parliament. We should not degenerate this parliament to this kind of things.
That was the chairman of the ad hoc committee set to go into issues surrounding the chaos and the brawl around the vetting table in Parliament. Emmanuel Bejira is his name, is the MP. Was Some good people in the Republic of Ghana. Stephen Ozay is joining us. He's a political marketing strategist. Good morning, sir. Thank you very much for your time.
Yeah, hello, good morning, Johnny.
Great, good to have you.
Yeah, good to have you too, and have a good morning.
I'm sure you've been following the happenings in Parliament regarding the ad hoc committee, the vetting and matters arising. Now, a lot of water has passed under the bridge. You heard the chairman obviously not too happy about situations. He says he won't back down. The minority seems to be putting a spanner in his works. This impasse, how do we fix it?
Yeah, right. Thank you so much, Johnny, once again. And I want to send a good morning to our good people of Ghana and our listeners, and the people in my university, my vice chancellor, and the staff of UW, UTAC. Yes, I'm seriously following these sessions, and as in one of the words of the committee chairperson, yes, it appears that Parliament cannot be put in that manner. You see, Ghanaians have a lot of confidence in Parliament, and Parliament are supposed to be occupied by lawmakers. They are supposed to be the ones making the law. So if some of these behaviors are being showcased, some of these tendencies are being showcased, it is a little bit worrying. And I like what the Speaker of Parliament said, that it's disgraceful and it's regrettable. Actually, it undermines the integrity of Parliament.
That's right.
And for me, I'm just eager to just know the recommendations of the committee. But it's very important that the Honourable Speaker has mentioned that all those who partook in those issues at Parliament, when at the end of the day they ended up destroying certain things within that chamber, that is the vetting chamber, are going to be surcharged. It is important. Ghanaians will want to see some of these things. I don't think these things shouldn't happen again. It shouldn't. Because about 4 years ago, we had someone running with a ballot box from Parliament.
Right.
These things we usually see these things in at police stations and all that. And this is happening again. Actually, when I saw it, I was like, no. Johnny, last 2 weeks or so, I mentioned that we are not actually being careful with some of these things, especially this vetting committee. So for me, I support the call for them to be actually reappointed. I really support it. Because Ghanaians, that is the only thing, the only place Ghanaians should actually see some kind of seriousness and some kind of, it should be a sacred place.
I see. Yeah. Regardless of the divergent views that they had at the vetting table, which occasioned the brawl, subsequently the ministers have been, all of them have been approved, and all of them have been giving their authority to go and work at the various ministries. What does that also tell you of the executive?
Yeah, so you see, we are dealing with people with the highest numbers in Parliament. But you see, this vetting committee, actually, if it hadn't gone to this tangent, the tangent where it appears people want to pay people back based on certain comments they have made, the vetting committee is actually supposed to look at the competencies of these people. It is supposed to actually tell Ghanaians that this person is very competent, very qualified and experienced in this area, and for that matter, the citizens should be okay and should have the hope that these people are going to actually lead them and help solve whatever problems we have in our systems. But when, unfortunately, it is diverted, the actual channel or the actual responsibility or the role of the vetting committee, I would say diverted, because some of the questioning actually do not actually find out the experiences and the competencies of people. When it happens like that, it's questionable. Yes, the executive has the power, but Johnny Hughes, you and I know that at the end of the day, majority in Parliament are the ones who are going to approve of this.
Right.
So for me, moving forward, there is supposed to be a serious reforms where people must know how to conduct themselves as parliamentarians, as members of a vetting committee. I think in my last discussions, I mentioned that there should be some form of training sessions and all that. These things are very important. It's unfortunate we are finding ourselves here, but these things must be looked at because Ghanaians have hope. Ghanaians should have hope in all the decisions made by the executive body.
Now, today, deputy ministers designate will be before the appointments committee of course, to tell them their competencies for them to be vetted so that they can also go and start their work. Should we expect anything different from what you have said to us already?
Yeah, so Johnny, I think that I expect that we are going to have a new vetting committee. If I say new, not I'm not talking about the personnel, because the reselection has not been done yet. But we are expecting that based on the fact that there's some of these behaviors, I'm expecting that they should actually go by their rules and devoid of actually wanting to attack people's persons and all that. They should just go by their work, look at the competencies, the qualifications, how suitable someone is based on that is the appointment or the nominations by the president, and then we'll find our way. If they are going by their work, I'm not sure we'll be having one person sitting for 5 hours and answering certain questions. I'm not sure. So I expect that there should be, the process should be very decorous, the process should be very professional this time around, because at least the Honorable Speaker has laid certain rules down, making them understand that if you continue like this, then it implies that you are actually not telling Ghanaians that you want to represent them. And in one of his words, he says that, like, he could not, and members could not exercise some kind of scintilla in what they do. When it happens like that, it is a little bit worrying. And as I said, as leaders, as parliamentarians, they are supposed to be mindful of their environment, and they should remember that they are on national television. So that should actually guide them in their communications, in their behaviors, in their questioning. It is important so that they will continue to get or rebuild the integrity that Ghanaians actually expect from the parliament. So we really expect them to actually put in a different show, a more professional show.
How much time is enough? Because you say 5 hours is an overkill. Should we follow your 2.5 hours or 3 hours for exams in school?
So Johnny, so I can't sit here and actually say it should take 1 hour, 2 hours, or even 5 minutes. But you see,
because somebody actually spent less than 2 minutes before the committee.
Exactly where I was going to. So you see, let's just be very, very sincere. You know, before the vetting actually starts, I have joined certain vetting committees and all that, but before it starts, at least the committee sits and decides that, okay, aside the general questions that may come up based on the responses from the nominee, some of the members they actually agreed, okay, you are going to ask questions based on the qualifications of the individual, based on the CV, based on the experiences and all that. So if that is done, as I said, at least you'll be reasonably 1 hour, 2 hours, you'll be fine. But the point is that, you see, we should also be looking at the health conditions of these vetting committee members as well. In as much as we want to sit for several hours wanting to be sure of the experiences of these people, let us actually have a particular time frame where within, let's say, the committee can decide in about 2 hours' time, we should be able to finish with one nominee, or maximum 3 hours. They should have a cap for themselves. Otherwise, you may sit for 10 hours, 20 hours. If you want to sit for 10 hours, who end up suffering? You'll be hurting your own health. And these things are also very important. These are things that we need to look at. So for me, we can't say 3 hours, 4 hours, but they can put a cap for themselves as vetting committee members.
It does appear in some instances that the nominees that appear are favorites of the committee, so they come and they take hugs and they go away. And Ghanaians are expecting that the proper scrutiny be done so that we are sure or assured that the people being sent to the various ministries or to serve as either substantive ministers or deputies are well qualified for the job. Is that the view you also hold?
No, Johnny, I don't hold that view. You know, yes, you may be close friends with any of the parliamentarians from both parties and all that, but the fact that you've been appointed as a member of a vetting committee, you are expected to be a professional, regardless of your relationship with that individual. Even if the person happens to be your brother, even if the person happens to be your wife, you are supposed to be professional. So you should be able to draw the thin line between friendship or relationships and being professional about your job as a vetting committee member. So for that one, I've been in a vetting committee before, certain vetting committees for National Grass Act, and when you are done, people come in and that we are friends. And I'm happy there was a comment some years back that somebody said, but Ato, I'm your friend. Oh, we are friends. You know, you have to be very, very professional with your work, regardless of your relationship. You should be able to put relationship aside. That is what professionals do when it comes to the delivery of their work. Now, so that is what I expect them to do.
These vetters are usually telecast for the entire nation to watch and to make their own assessment.
Yes.
The public so far, if you ask, and Musa Danko and his team have conducted some research into it. Some have divergent views, which is the natural thing, but you find a lot more people saying they aren't satisfied, and sometimes they even think that the chairman of the vetting committee is allowing himself to be gazumped by the minority leader, who is not supposed to be a vice chair, but always goes ahead to make the claim that, they are co-chairs of the committee. How do we cure this?
Yes, so as the chairperson of the committee, he's supposed to actually know his responsibilities. I come there again. So if you have given a member of the committee, let's say 2 minutes to make a delivery, the moment that person is done with that delivery, you take that, you take the next questions from the next person. You don't allow anybody to take center stage. There are reasons why we make people chairs for specific committees and specific places. Yes, Ghanaians are not satisfied because, as I said, and we are talking about 5 hours, 6 hours, and maybe one person actually more or less running the entire show. Ghanaians want to know that the parliament or the vetting committee are doing this work to help them, to give them the right people to lead them. So if at the end of the day it can be hijacked by an individual or 2 persons, then that is not the way to go. So for me, the chairperson should show, or the chair should know that he is the one in charge. And if you are given 2 minutes to do your delivery or 5 minutes to do your delivery, you do just that. I'm not sure in Parliament, when the Speaker of Parliament gives you, let's say, 5 minutes to make your delivery, and you go beyond that, and the Speaker of Parliament tells you to actually get your case finished and then let me listen to another person, you say no. And I'm happy you said Ghanaians are actually, this is being sent out there. Everyone is it's a live program. So people must remember that their environment is very important. And I mentioned this some days ago when we had the Castle Head issue.
Right.
I mentioned that people should be conscious of their environment, especially MPs should be conscious of their environment and get to know the kind of delivery they make, the kind of communication they make, because at the end of the day, that is what Ghanaians and viewers are going to use to judge you. So those Ghanaians who are looking at it and are very much concerned about the fact that they are complaining about the chair not being able to take charge. Well, maybe I wouldn't say not being able to take charge, but the chair should be able to know that if a minute or 2 is given to an individual who may even happen to be a co-chair or a vice chair or even a member of the committee, that person must stick to that. And as I said, if they get to know before the vetting starts, all these rules of engagement must be set out amongst themselves.
Okay.
So if they are set out among themselves and someone tries to go beyond that, then the chair has every right to put that person into order.
I thank you very much, Stephen Osei-Chow. He's a political and strategic communications expert. We're grateful that you spent your morning with us. Thank you so much indeed.
Thank you so much, Johnny.
Great.
Have a good day.
Yes, sir. You too.
You convince me to trust you as a Minister of State, considering what happened at Labaoleshi.
But Ato, you are my friend.
It doesn't matter.
And today you don't trust me.
I'm asking a question.
Today you don't trust me.
No, I'm asking a question that, can you convince me?
You should be testifying on my credibility.
No, it's not about credibility. I said convince me. We are here for the people of Ghana. Okay, so we have to ask the questions that are needed. And I'm asking the questions.
Hey, I have to. Please, your mic's off. Hey. Now I have to come in.
You convince me to trust you as a Minister of State, considering what happened at Labaoleshi.
Sunrise on 3FM.
You are my friend.
The best in the morning.
And today you don't trust me?
I'm asking a question.
Today you don't trust me?
No, I'm asking a question that, can you convince me?
You should be testifying on my credibility.
No, it's not about credibility. I said convince me. We are here for the people of Ghana. Okay, so we have to ask the questions that are needed. And I'm asking the questions.
I have to. Please, your mic's off. Hey.